Hi everyone. So today I want to talk about a topic that I got a lot of questions from students, completion with items handler. You might have heard about this term when you go through MIMI 1.1 and MIMI 2.0. The requirement in these projects require that safe meme should only be implemented within a completion with item handler. So today I want to talk about the reason why we have to save meme inside completion with item handler. I also want to show a demo of what it looks like and talk about some of other useful way that you can implement completion with item handler in your future applications. So as you can see right here, we have a share function, and this share function is connected to the share button right here. And when you open the share button, you can see there's a menu. It shows up. It gives the user a lot of option to do to handle their meme. They can choose to save the meme to photo library. They can assign it to a contact and so much more things. And in this use case, we want to save the meme and create create an object, save it to the app delegate meme singleton, so that we can use that singleton to show the meme in collection view and table view and so on. And going back to this function, you can see in here first, when the user click the share button, we first want to create a meme image, which include the top text, bottom text, the meme and the original image, and also the meme image. And then we instantiate an activity view controller, which is the view you see with options to handle the meme. And then this view controller has a field called completion with item handler, and it looks like a function, but it is a property. So what that means is basically it's a callback function, and like the name of it, this snippet of code that you see get assigned to this completion with item handler field is a function that will be executed once activity view controller complete. So I'm just gonna have a print statement in here to demonstrate that this snippet of code will be executed after the activity view controller is dismissed. So I can do a quick debugging print statement right here. Activity controller done, and then run the app, and you'll see that once I create a meme, share it, and close the activity view controller, this print statement will be printed down here. So let me create a meme. Just choose a random photo in here, and I really don't care about the top and bottom text, so let's just try to save it, and it's dismissed. And you can see as soon as it's dismissed, it print out this print statement, activity controller is done. So all you need to know is that the snippet of code that you implement and assign to this completion handler field will be executed after the activity view controller dismiss. You might wonder, why does it come in so many? It has like so many parameters in here. So you can see there are 4 parameters. First is activity type, second completed, third return items, and 4 error. And all of these information are the information given by the activity view controller back to you, and these contain all the information about how successful the service was handled, if it gives out any error, if there's any items that has been modified since the service is executed, and what kind of service, what kind of activity the user chose when they open this activity view controller. So it gives you a lot of information that you can use and you can customize based on your app. And in MIMI 1.0, all you want to do once a user finished using the activity view controller is to save the meme and call the save meme function that we implemented. Um, so you only want to call this function if you can see in here, if and only if the completed field is true. And why do we have to care what the completed field is true or not? So let's go to the Apple documentation about completion with item handler to read more about what does completed mean in this case. So here I have the definition of the completion handler. So Apple said is execute after the activity view controller is dismissed. And it gives out these 4 parameters that you set in my that you can see in my snippet. And we care about this second parameter called completed. And completed will be true if the service was performed successfully. If it's not, then it will return false. This parameter is also set to false when the user dismisses the view controller without selecting any service. So, for example, let's write a quick debugging statement to see what happened, what code will be executed when the completed field is false. So you can see in here, if completed is true, then I save the meme, and if not, it will print out service was canceled. So let's go and see it in action, and we will modify both the output down here. So I'm gonna create another meme. Again, really don't care about what image you choose, and open the activity view controller, but not selecting any service. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click cancel. And based on what we read from Apple documentation and what we wrote in our code, if I click cancel, it's supposed to print out service was canceled. So let's see if that happens. And you can see right here, this snippet is executed, and then it's also print out service was canceled. So that's what happened. And we care about whether completed is true or not in this case, because we don't want to save a function if the user doesn't choose to save it. So that's why you see in here, I only call the save function if and only if the completed field is true. So there's other way that you can implement this completion with items handler field and customize it based on what you want your app to perform as well. So let's go back to see what other things that the activity view controller gives to us. So you can see in here, activity type, which is the first parameter. This will give out information about what service the user chose. So saving meme, saving photo is one of the service, but it also comes in other service. For example, assign photo to contacts, copy photo, print photo, or like sharing photo to Facebook friend, and so on. And this activity type, you can check to see what exactly service the user chose in order to customize. And you can see in here, I have another tab open just to see like what other type there can be. And let me see. You can see in here that user might chose add to reading list, airdrop, assign to contact, mail, and all of these. And based on what feature you want to implement, you can check if the activity type is, for example, equal to post to Twitter. You might want to do something else than just creating a meme, right? And then there's other parameter that you can look into, for example, return item. So the return item is the third parameter, and it gives out any data about objects that has been modified. So for example, if you open the activity controller and you pass the meme image to it, and then you want to edit the meme using like Apple editor tool and add like some emoji and all those things into it, and you chose to save it, this return items will return that edited meme. So it will be helpful if you want to further add more feature into your Meme 2.0, 1.0 project, right? And lastly, the fourth parameter, activity error. It gives out any error if during the execution of activity controller. So in here, I have an if statement which said if there's any error, if error is not nil, then I want to print out the error description. Basically, you're gonna tell me what went wrong. So those are the type of things that you can think about when you implement your app. And it's a good way to look at the completion with item handler because you'll see it in Mimi 1.0 and 2.0, and you will see it again over and over again when you continue with your career in iOS developer. And it's always good to master how to handle it properly, how to make use of all of these parameters and implement your function accordingly. So I hope that these information help, and best of luck on your journey to become an iOS developer. Let me know if you guys have any other questions.